What's up, everybody? Good morning. And yeah, haven't done one of these in a while, so just wanted to pop in and just go a little bit over what's been going on in the Zcash ecosystem over the last little bit. Today is August 25th, and yeah, we're just going to dive right in. So the first thing I wanted to just highlight, like anybody, and I think this is a really good point that came from Skylar from Free to Z, that if anyone's like working on Zcash or like, trying to advance the product or whatever, like product protocol, whatever you want to call it, it is like a really good idea. And I totally agree with this statement, this tweet that came out, like we should be using it all the time, even if the wallets like aren't performing to the best of their ability, even if some of the UX is a little more difficult, even if like when I'm trying to do stuff between Zcash and Ethereum or Zcash and another chain, even if some of the bridges aren't as, they're like in beta, they're not as battle tested as maybe some others out there, I still think it's all a very, very good time to continue to go out and still try to use these products. Like this comment here, we need a wallet that works 100% of the time. Like, totally agree. And I think to kind of get to that end state there, yeah, we just need to be testing these things all the time and just use them all the time. It's a ton of fun. And it's frustrating, and I say it's a ton of fun in the sense that like you kind of are like experiencing all of this right now, and when you get to that end state and that future goal in like, I don't know, 3 to 4 years, it's going to be really, really amazing to have that user experience in like 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, whenever, the user experience that some people are expecting. And for everyone, it's different. Some people want to use a crypto application, like a wallet, and they want it to work just like MetaMask maybe. And then other people want it to work like, perhaps they're like used to running a full node and they have different expectations from full nodes they ran in the past, or maybe they want it to work like a modern banking app like PayPal and Venmo, right? I still think like for every person it's different. So when you get to that point where the user experience that you're experiencing every day is kind of meeting that expectation that you had for it originally, you kind of will look back on these moments and have like a lot of, I don't know if nostalgia is the right word, but just like a very, just I don't know, like proud moment that you were there when it was like all developing, and then it gets to that end state. I think when you look to the future of everything, that's a really interesting perspective, and it makes some of the pain that we're all going through right now a little bit easier. But totally agree with Skylar's comment here. Like if you're working at part-time, full-time, doing this in your spare time as a very like dedicated community member, always test out the tools and try to use them as much as possible. Even if it's microtransactions, just try to use them as much as possible. So cool thought there. And then moving on to a video I posted last night. Zuko did his talk on motivations to potentially move to proof of stake. There's a video of a snippet that I thought was really, really good from his talk. And then also here linked, there is the full talk with a link there to the YouTube video. So the big things I was like, when I listened to this talk, the biggest takeaway that I had is that proof of work has this economy of scale where things can potentially only benefit the bigger players, and to where proof of stake, if you put in $1 million or if you put in $1,000 as a staker, and I'm going to butcher this explanation, but essentially you receive the same amount of rewards. And while yes, the larger players will get more rewards in terms of like US dollar value or ZEC value than the smaller players, the distribution is more even, it is more fair, and it doesn't turn into a situation where I'm going to pause this because it's like bugging me out. It doesn't turn into a situation where like the miners are, using all their capital to mine all these coins, and then like mining them, the barrier to entry becomes more difficult, and then the issuance of new tokens only gets distributed to a select amount of people. And then the second part of this that was really interesting is that the sell pressure becomes less, because if you're a miner, you have operational costs for like your mining rigs, for electricity, for the place that you're storing all of these things, like rent, etc. And that when you mine new coins, there's a sell pressure because you need fiat currency to pay for all these things. And when you're staking, because the cost to stake is so much lower, the sell pressure is much lower. Stakers might still sell. They might sell rewards. They might sell their old coins, or they might have like a selling strategy, like DCAing out. But the pressure to do that is much less when you're staking versus mining, according to Zuko in this talk, in this video. So really interesting. If I butchered that, I'm sorry, but it was a really interesting talk. I listened to it all yesterday. Again, I listened to it in person and listened to it again yesterday. Just recommend everyone check it out. Zcash Media did a thread about their talk at ZCon 3. So if you want to just kind of go over their talk from ZCon 3, I recommend checking out this thread for like a TLDR. It's a longer thread, but still it's probably faster than watching the talk, but I'd recommend watching the talk as well. And I think the biggest thing from this thread, the biggest takeaway was actually the last points. So what we learned from the cypherpunks is that we can't expect people to become like us. They don't have the time, and life is only getting more complex. We have to synthesize and simplify until we can meet audiences where they are at. We don't want people struggling to use Zcash or stuck searching for information. We want intuitive technology and curated education. That for me just like hits home so well, because we have to understand we can't expect people to like onboard into Zcash and understand what a ZK snark is, or what a zero knowledge proof is, or how the back end of the system is shielding transactions and like how wallets can auto shield, and how the privacy implications behind a Z to T transaction or a T to Z transaction, or like what's the privacy implication of using a pass through. All of these things are very, very complicated topics. Some of them are very complicated for me, and most are very complicated to just everyday people who aren't using cryptocurrency all the time. So the reason I love this thread so much is that it's like saying that, hey, we need to tell these stories, and we need to have this educational content that's entertaining and keeps people interested, because people have shorter attention spans as the years go on. So the quality of it has to be high, and we have to ensure that they're listening to this content. And then also we need to get them in a situation where they're meeting us. Like we're meeting them where they're at. We're getting to a point where we can explain the value proposition of cryptocurrency, of Zcash, and get it to everyday people who are the next generation of users. We can't expect new users to go and just understand all the technical application behind it, and technical, what's the word I'm looking for? Like technical infrastructure. We just need to get them in a wallet, get them some Zec, and tell them, hey, this is a different type of money. The value is going to fluctuate, but it's completely private, and you're not using it in the sense where when you use it, you're leaking data about yourself. As like you still potentially might leak data about yourself, but you're not leaking it in a way that credit cards or public cryptocurrencies, etc. do. So it's really important to kind of like gather these value propositions and explain them in an articulate, entertaining way where normal people can understand the value of them. So brilliant thread. Sorry I kind of went on a rant there. I love that last point, because I'm trying to get all my friends and family to use Zcash, and it's actually a lot harder than people would expect, and because they want to know like all these different technical things. So it's better to just be like, okay, this is like the high level overview, and actually here's these resources where you can check out. And that's what we're trying to do here at ZecHub. That's what Zcash Media is trying to do from a documentary and high quality video perspective. Here are these resources that you can use to learn more about it if you really want to dive deeper. So really appreciate that thread. And as I was saying, when you use Zcash, you're not leaking as much data as you are when you're using like traditional payment rails. And this is awesome. Like you go somewhere, you use a credit card. This is from Pay with Zcash. You use a credit card, and then you're getting ads, and then you're getting like mail from like these different organizations, and you're getting like spam mail. It's just absolutely ridiculous that people think that this is normal, that these companies are selling consumer data and they're gathering more information about us, and they build these really complex profiles about us, and they can kind of tell like based on your purchasing habits, like how much you make, where you live, like what you like to do on a Saturday evening, what you like to do on a Tuesday morning. It's just kind of, it's all very intrusive, and using things like Zcash are able to kind of allow you to opt out from that traditional system, which is just primed for surveillance. So this is a really good reminder from Pay with Zcash. And a quick caveat here, from Zuko. You can apply for a grant from Filecoin and Zcash if you want to build. We've talked about that before, but if you want to build some of the things that they're looking for, which have to do with like interoperability and different use cases for zero knowledge technology and decentralized storage. If you're a developer, listen to this, check this out. If you know developers that want to build on it, tell them to check this out. We need more people building on Zcash. And also shout out to Zcash Community Grants, another program if you're a developer or a non-developer where you can go request funds to help advance the Zcash ecosystem. And one of those grants participants, participants is wrong. How do you say it? Grant recipients? Zego, who's a part of the Zcash community grants ecosystem, are now doing a pay with Zcash link. So this is a point of sale system where you can continue to the payment and it's connecting, and then it looks like you're going to have an option to pay with Zcash. So that's actually really cool. Feature that they're adding here. Yeah, it's just going through right now. Pay with Zcash, and then it's going to pop up an address. Yep, that's super dope. That's a really cool invoice that you can send to people. It's a really good technology that's going to be coming out to help merchants receive Zcash. And I read based on this is linked. I read a study from Deloitte, I think two days ago, and it was about how a lot of merchants in the United States are planning on accepting crypto within the next 2 years. And 87% of the merchants that were surveyed, they believe that accepting crypto is going to give you a competitive advantage. So imagine if you have a group of Zcashers in one city, and there's a coffee shop that's a half a mile away that only accepts fiat, and there's one that's 0.75 miles away, 3/4 of a mile away, that accepts Zec. Where are those people going to go to? They're going to go to the one that accepts Zec because they want to use those. And so as more people adopt into cryptocurrencies, they're going to want to spend it. Especially if the regulatory infrastructure allows people to spend without having to worry about taxes. It's going to be a massive advantage. So really cool from Zego there. The Zcash Foundation filled the core Rust engineer position, and I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry. I want to say Area Soli is the newest core Rust engineer at the Zcash Foundation. They've linked a blog post here detailing their experience. And yeah, if you want to check this out, just to know more about this new team member for the Zcash Foundation, check out this tweet, obviously in the description, and read the blog. So congratulations as well. So there was an issue that got brought up, and I'm sorry for the expletives that Mr. Adams has put here. Obviously very frustrated, so we can, I guess, excuse them a wee bit, but just if you offended, sorry. There was an issue with the Ledger Live application for Zcash users. So again, this is all I don't even know, foreign language to me. So users affected by this API HTTP 400 error in Ledger Live, please update your Bitcoin and Zcash apps to the latest version. This should fix it. Someone said that John was upset, as he can be. Sorry. I'm sorry, this is such a bad situation, but the expletives are just getting to me. Sorry. Ledger's obviously said, hey, we understand your frustration. We're reassuring that teams are working on this. The newest Zcash app is under final testing and will be available soon. So just if you use Ledger to store your Zec, just understand that they're working on this, working on a new Zcash app, and that it's going to be released soon. This was 13 hours. This was June 9th. Oh, wow. Sorry, I completely missed that. I saw this retweet, so I thought they were linked together. This was on June 9th, and apparently there's still issues with Ledger. And they're working on resolving the issue, and apparently that's in final testing. So follow this Twitter account, if Ledger is what you're using to store your Zec, and if it's still having issues, let me know. Interested to hear what the community is experiencing with this. I might put out a tweet to ask for some feedback. But yeah, just follow this and you'll stay up to date on all that. And the last thing we're going to end with, some good news. You can get your Zcash Privacy is Normal t-shirt. So Privacy is Normal, as we all know, was this poster that Chris Tomio wrote up, was the center of crypto Twitter for 4 or 5 days. It was awesome. That message just about hey, this is not something we should be ashamed of. This is completely normal that we want user privacy and we want to have financial privacy. There's a t-shirt. I have the t-shirt. My girlfriend has the t-shirt. Tons of people have the t-shirt, and now you can get the t-shirt too, which was what the poster's based on. Privacy is Normal. Check out this tweet, check out this store, get your t-shirt, and yeah, super stoked. I want to see more people wearing all these t-shirts. And that was from Josh Swirestock in ZCon 3. Get everyone wearing all the t-shirts. So wear your t-shirt, wear it proudly, and then people will come up to you and ask, what is this about? Of course privacy is normal. Who's saying it's not? And then you go, did you know? And then you go down the rabbit hole because they opened up to it. So yeah, wear the t-shirt. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much, and apologies for this being delayed. Put this out later this afternoon. Thank you so much for all the support and everything, and yeah, just looking forward to doing more of these. And oh yeah, watch the podcast that we did with Excellencia, and the podcast with Railgun is coming out soon. So have a great day.